Hi, this is Pastor Barry with the supplement video for the week of October the 21st. This is a missional activity week. And if you didn't have a chance to go to Invest and to hear the impact people talk about the sort of foundational thinking about why the missional activity is important, I strongly encourage you to download their statement about the why of missional, well, not just missional activities, but about a missional life in general. It's very well written and super helpful. It is a working document, so they're going to keep adding to it, but I think even in its current form, it's worth reading, talking about with your group. One of the things they talked about at the Invest meeting was how Impact has gone about learning and getting involved in different areas of missional service. Uh, they, I don't know if they did this on purpose. I'm guessing that they did, but they have 3 E's. First, they educate themselves. They take time to read papers and books to learn about the area of missional activity that they're trying to get involved in. Secondly, they explore. They'll take field trips out to local ministries that are dealing with that particular area of service, just to get a look at what they do and to talk with the staff there about why they do what they do and how they go about doing it. And then the third thing that they do is they engage. They find a way to actually serve alongside. So in that second sort of phase of the learning, the exploration phase, often they're just observing and asking questions. But in the engagement phase, they're the ones serving the meal. They're the ones talking with people. They're the ones sharing their faith. They're the ones tutoring or interacting directly with people outside of the walls of our church community. If you think about your discipleship group year as kind of a 10-month schedule, I think that's helpful as you approach this idea of missional activity and how you want your group to be formed in a missional kind of discipleship. You don't have to serve every single one of those activities or during every single one of those scheduled times to be involved in missional activity. Uh, Education, learning about a particular area, is missional. It's important not just to get involved in doing a good thing, but to understand what the problem is and how people are going about sort of addressing that problem before you jump in and try to fix something. Often we can't really do that when we're serving just one time a month or whatever, but we can participate with others who are addressing the problem on a more regular basis. And as I've said in the past, I think ideally it's really helpful not to jump around too quickly. It takes time to learn about something, and it takes time for our hearts to catch up to the heart of God, to learn to care about the things that He cares about. So, even if you don't want to do a single area of service for the whole year, you could break it down into 2 or possibly 3 areas of service and spend a few months on each one, learning, praying, serving, developing relationships. Take a little bit of time with it and see if you take some time to plant something in the lives of people in your group, or allowing God to plant something there, and you don't switch up too quickly, there would be a chance for something to take root and to grow up and to begin to produce fruit. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this particular video is where you are in the discipleship group year. If you look at your schedule, you'll see that we have only 3 more studies from the book Guidance in God's Will before the end of that series. And then on November the 18th, there is the final missional activity of the fall. And the following week is a week that I titled My Decisions and the Kingdom of God. I had envisioned that as a way of helping people to take what they've learned about discernment and decision making and applying it to their own lives, but in the bigger context of what God is doing in the world. So we're not just talking about, well, what does God want me to do? What is the list of things that He's trying to get me to do? But rather to understand the bigger picture of God's mission in the world and what He's doing in bringing His kingdom about, and then how we fit into that bigger plan. The problem with that particular activity is that it's happening during the week of Thanksgiving, which is a week that I'm guessing many of you will not meet on because many of the groups meet Wednesday, Friday, that kind of thing, and that's going to be right in the middle of the holiday. So I will have a separate video that helps people that are going to have that discussion, but I just want you to know that it's out there. And then the following week, the week of December the 2nd, is the final week of the discipleship group schedule for the fall. I put down that it would be a Christmas social or service activity. So, it could be another missional kind of activity. It could also be a big Christmas party where you celebrate what God has done. The only thing that I'd encourage you on in that is to not limit it to yourselves, to feel free to invite different friends of yours who are maybe not churchgoers, maybe not Christians, and to share what God has done in your lives, as well as what Christmas means and how your group or how the people in your group are going to be celebrating that. That is a closure kind of time. Again, we'll have video on that to talk about how you might want to close that time out. But the thing that you need to know now is that you're about 6 weeks out on that. So to be thinking about what makes a good ending for the fall. You want people to go into the holidays feeling like they can celebrate what God has done, feeling like they are being launched into the holidays, thinking about Him and about how they want to honor Him, and enjoying, appreciating what has been accomplished this fall. So think about closure. In January, we will have a brief Sunday morning series entitled, I think the working title is The Transcendent God. So be focused on the holiness of God. And we may or may not have discipleship curriculum that goes along with that. So check back with me later to see if we're going to have anything. Otherwise, the new series will start at the beginning of February, and we will almost certainly have discipleship group curriculum that's going to go with the Sunday morning messages. Well, I hope that you're having fun in your groups. I hope that people are making progress, taking their next steps with God. If you're not already grabbing some time with different people in your group, take some time to do that. It's fun. They'll tell you things individually that you might not get to hear when the whole group is meeting together. And you don't have to be the only person that meets with someone. You could encourage the people in your group to meet with one another, maybe pair them off as prayer partners and give them a chance to share their lives with each other and commit to praying for one another. The goal is not that you would do everything for people, but rather that you would set up the conditions that make it favorable for people to have an encounter with God and to grow with Him. That's all I've got for you this week. I hope you're having a great time in this series, Decisions. Let me know how I can serve you.